the most overrated advice to lose belly fat. So we'll talk about a few things I've heard people tell me and things I've heard in the past. Over the past 12 years of doing fitness myself and helping other people do it, helping people lose between 10 to 30 pounds in about 90 days. I definitely know that these things here is a pile of garbage, and here's what to do instead. So let's dive into each of them. So the first one I have here is doing a bunch of different core exercises. You got your crunches, your planks, leg raises, weighted crunches, sit-ups. Thinking those exercises will lose belly fat? Silly, because what an exercise does is build muscle, not help you burn fat. Burning fat comes from nutrition. So you have maintenance, surplus, deficit. You need to be in the calorie deficit to lose weight. We'll discuss further in the video how deficit can be something most people overblow, and I'll make sure that you know that you can be in a deficit that is too low, okay? You can be in a deficit that's too low. We'll discuss that further in the video. So the next one I have here is cut out carbohydrates. Something I don't recommend to do. The main intent of nutrition is to have a variety of foods. Stop cutting out different food groups thinking that getting a faster result is better. You also want to think long term, and you also want to think about something that is sustainable. Okay? Instead, again, like I said, being in a healthy calorie deficit. A deficit that's not too low, a deficit that allows you to lose 1 pound per week. Okay, I can explain that more in a future video. Next, we'll have just do more cardio. Stupid advice, because it puts you in more of a deficit. A healthy deficit is a deficit that allows you to lose 1 pound per week. Depending on your body fat percentage, if you're somebody obese, you're gonna definitely lose more than 1 pound a week. But for somebody that is not moderately obese and you're at a certain point, you need to not exceed 1 pound per week. If you're losing more than 1 pound per week and you're not moderately obese, you're likely losing muscle, fat, and water. Okay? Losing muscle is very bad because it's going to stun your testosterone and it's going to allow things to be more difficult for you as far as fat loss. So keep that in mind. A healthy calorie deficit is about 500 under your maintenance per day. So if you need to eat 3,000 calories to maintain your body weight, to lose a pound per week, you basically have to eat 2,500 calories for 7 days in a row to lose 1 pound per week. So the deficit for the week is 3,500. 500 times 7. Okay? So you're not confused. The next one here we have is drink detox teas, have fat loss supplements, fat burners, all stuff in that category, all pile of garbage. Again, be in a healthy calorie deficit. You're going to do that with eating 500 below your maintenance 7 days in a row. You're going to implement exercise, implement a bunch of things to help you there. Okay? Those are better ways to do it as opposed to relying on supplements to give you a magic pill. Next, starve yourself. Again, stupid advice. Don't starve yourself. I'd love for you to be able to eat multiple times a day, but keep in mind 500 under your maintenance to have a good deficit so that you're losing at least 1 pound a week. And obviously, you're not going to be in a deficit forever, but that's just to get you to a point you lose enough fat to be able to see the muscle underneath the fat that you currently have. So here are things to do instead, okay? I've basically said all these things within the video, but I'll restate it so that it helps you take the advice so that you can implement it as soon as possible. So obviously you need to be strength training, because when you're strength training, you're building a good foundation, but also you're going to build muscle, which is going to allow you to have a better metabolism, which keeps off body fat later on in the future. I actually recommend most people starting out to build muscle first. Okay. Next, implement 8 to 10K steps per day. This is an easy way to lose, or not lose, but use up about 100 calories, right? Remember the deficit I talked about, being in a 500 calorie deficit each day, 7 days in a row? Well, if you don't want to make that all in the amount of calories you're consuming as far as food goes, you can do stuff like implementing 3 to 4 days of training, and even having like 8 to 10K steps per day. Those are calories being lost as well, okay? So just from the training and just from the walking, that's easily about 100 to about 200 calories under your maintenance per day, okay? Just keep that in mind. So these are simple things you can implement instead of just cutting calories from the food that you're eating. Next, focus on high protein. High protein because with high protein meals, the breakdown of protein requires energy, and that energy comes from calories, okay? That's typically why when you eat more protein, you're burning more fat. Highly recommended. Obviously, sleep is important. Obviously, managing your stress, because managing stress means less cortisol, which means more testosterone, which means better metabolism, which means better ability to build muscle, which means less fat. Okay? So it's a spiral to a bunch of things. So be consistent for 8 to 12 weeks. I would just say be consistent for life. Okay? Do it in a way it's sustainable to be able to maintain for the rest of your life. That's it for the video. So the 5 things that are the stupidest advice to lose belly fat. If you avoid these and do the things that I said consistently, you will lose belly fat. Okay? It's a marathon, not a sprint. You're not going to lose the belly fat next week. It may take a couple of months. But I'll tell you this, it'll be something sustainable. Okay? Thank you so much for watching the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know if this helped you. Let me know how you implement it and which thing you implement first. Thank you so much for watching the video. Like, share, subscribe, stay tuned for more videos. May God bless you, and I'll see you next video.